Hello, and welcome to yet again one of ADemonicShadow's review and trophy review. This is on the PS4 exclusive Drive Club. Our course will be reviewed first and the trophy review later. First off, with the review of this game, I'm not necessarily into these racing games where you're on like a set track, like it's an event and everything like that. I'm more of a person who's out for open world games. So if you're looking for an open world game, you know, like Need for Speed Underground or anything like that, this is not one of those games. Definitely still a racing game to look into if you like racers. But that's actually how this game is. As you can see here, when you start, there are multiple things here. You have your club that you can go ahead and create and have your 6 friends join. You can, you know, once again make those any random person in the world, or go ahead and make them, you know, your close friends and everything like that. And of course, as you guys play together, you guys do group together, you guys do get experience for, you know, helping each other out. There is of course your personal ranking, which is what you naturally do to help, you know, level up and everything like that. And of course, getting level 50 is the max. Outside that, there's nothing. There are challenges you can send to your friends about beating your time, drifting and everything like that. There's your garage where you can customize your cars and change up the color schemes for them. And these paint jobs are for all the cars, so that way it's not like you're picking custom colors or custom paint jobs for every single car, because that would be that would take too much time. But of course, you have the factory one default, and then your club, and then the 4 you made, and your club's universal, so everyone in your club has this paint job. Moving on to the actual beef of the game, you'll spend most of your time in tour event, and this is the original one that comes from the game. But as you can see, they did add tons and tons of DLC, and there's even coming soon. Despite how long this game's been out, they did add a lot of content to this game, which I do appreciate. You have your single event and your multiplayer. Multiplayer I initially don't like, because you enter a queue and there's like a lobby system, and I could have done better. But online itself, racing with other people, is pretty fun. You can actually see who's definitely the better racer, and I did a few online events. Your single event is, you know, this game's broken down into 3 types of races. There's your racing, time trials, and your drifting. And then once you pick one of those, you have your places to race at. And of course, your band being the newest one. I'm gonna go ahead and do one and see how horrible I do. But as much as people said, this game does look great. The gameplay for this game is pretty cool. The cars necessarily do have different stats that actually do matter, other than top speed and acceleration. You know, handling does play a part. Drifting does play a part. Some cars, you do too hard of a turn, you start drifting. Other cars, you have to really want to drift. But this is one of my favorite cars in the game, by the way. But when you enter, like for drifting, when you enter it, there's speed points, drift zones, and speed zones. Speed zones are pretty much when you just go for speed, and you know, the faster you are, the more points you get. Drifting is all pure drifting if you can just get your car to turn to the side. Not like that. This is what I get for not playing the game for a while. But that's not necessarily drifting. Pretty straightforward. Drift through the drift zones. Race to go as fast as possible in the speed zone. When you're done, it adds it up, gives you a total. It levels up your driver club, and your club bonus for, you know, just being in a club, which is pretty cool. Outside that, this wasn't necessarily a bad game. Unfortunately, the PlayStation Plus version never came out, or at least the time this video wasn't out. So you're not able to actually go ahead and trial it for free. But I really, one of the things I do like about the game is definitely the looks. This game does look great. I'm actually going to pick a race just to show the timing. I'm gonna do my favorite race. So every time you start a race, you can actually choose a time of day, which of course varies by night to daytime. Your time compression, just what as it says, how quickly time passes. Your cloud coverage just determines what it's going to be like. Of course, you can go for stormy, and then just pretty much determine just how's the weather's going to be. Is it going to be heavy? Is it going to be dry? Is it going to be dynamic? And then you can also pick the settings here, how many opponents, their difficulty, the crowd size, which doesn't really matter, face off, which are little mini challenges that you can complete in the game to compete against other people in either drifting in a certain zone. There's speed where, you know, a certain area you just go as fast as possible. There's also one where you have to follow a certain route. There's a certain route, and of course if you stay on that route better than the more you stay on the route and the closer you stay to your car being on the center of it is how much points you gain. But other than that, relatively simple racing game. Really do like it. Before you couldn't skip those, but now you can. It just gives you an overlay of the race right here where it loads. But pretty much, you know, if you love racing games, this is definitely looking into. I don't regret buying this game. I had a lot of fun playing it. The only thing I hate about this game, other than, you know, like not being a free roam game and the online being kind of bad, with just the setting up of it. The online races themselves are just, you know, standard races just like this one. But the only complaint I have about this game is playing at nighttime on not necessarily dynamic weather, but having it when it snows really, really hard. Because at that time you just can't see, and that necessarily is not the game. That's just how it is. So it's not like bad programming or anything like that. It's just it gets so much rain or so much snow on screen that you can't see anything, and then at nighttime it's just amplified. I'm doing a horrible job here. The music of the game, it's alright. It could have been better. See, like, here it is right here. But the music in the game is pretty good. Not too bad. Not one of the ones where I immediately added it to my collection and then played it for, 45 years. But I didn't necessarily enjoy it. Of course, you can turn it off and play your own. One thing I do like about this game is playing at night, not with weather on, but you can turn on light rain or light snow, and then there can be like thunderstorms going on in the background, and then the lighting and the graphics for this game, it's just amazing. Now, as you're racing, of course, as you can see there's your progress to your map, there's your points you're getting, where if you drift, drag, there it is, with the lightning. If you drift, drag, or complete little challenges that you get throughout the game, you get points for that, and that's of course added to how much your total points you have, and that's what you use to level up. That's one of the challenges here. But this is, once again, it's a racing game. There's not too much to talk about. There's not necessarily a story or anything like that. The gameplay, it's pretty smooth. The cars do handle pretty well. They're not doing any type of weird stuff. I know at the time of release there was not necessarily a bully system, but the cars were kind of aggressive. And if you take a turn too hard and go onto the road, or if you take a turn too wide, or if you crash into a car and just like straight up ram them, you do get a speed penalty where you can't go up a certain speed. So it does the better drivers to the more careful drivers and everything like that are rewarded for the naturally good driving, because online when people are crashing into you, they get that negative speed bonus time, and then that's when you naturally just drive right past them because they're only going a certain speed and you're going a lot faster. But that pretty much was a review of the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the trophy review. If you necessarily don't like, if you're necessarily not going for the platinum, or if you necessarily just don't care, you can go ahead and end here. I'm gonna just play a repeat. Playing my favorite one. Nope, just not. Let me just go ahead and go on to the trophy. So of course the platinum is what you're going to be going for. You have to complete your first event, which once again you'll get. Join a club or have someone join a club that you created. So once again, that's very easy. There's a lot of people who just let anyone join in whenever. You have beat your first face off, which is when you are actually racing. You have those little time challenges you have, and you'll compete against someone else. You just beat theirs and you're done. Customize vehicle, which is just add a paint job to it. When the timer when the timer expires on a solo challenge, be at the top of the leaderboard. You can easily, if you have a friend, just do a challenge, send it to them, have them also do it, but fail and not do good enough, and then when the timer expires, you'll get that trophy. When you send that challenge, you'll get a trophy. There's leveling up, so getting all the way to level 50 is the final one, and then that's probably the last thing you'll actually do with when it comes to leveling. Oh no, let's see if I can turn. Progress, once again, you'll get this standard because you have to max out allocate, which is the mini challenge, or pretty much all the goals you have here, like race on a certain map a certain time, race in Canada a certain time, drift a certain amount of time, do a certain amount of events. You'll naturally get that just going for the platinum for this game, which can get complete kind of grindy. Face off, which is complete 50 face offs, once again very easy. Place in any top 3 positions during a 12-player race. You can easily just start an event, put 12 racers on there, and then just finish in first, second, or third. Draft another vehicle for at least 200 meters, 2,000 meters. That one you may have to set up and pick one of the longer straightaway maps. Beat 3 target times in a single trial event. This one is not necessarily, its description's not accurate, I guess I would say, because what you do is you go to a time trial, you get a time on a time trial, but before you finish the race, just wait like a minute or two at the finish line, and then beat it, and then you do it again, and then beat your target time, and then you do it again, and you beat your target time again. Not that hard. Long distance drive for 300 miles. You'll get that eventually. Win a race in each class of vehicles. You'll get that just playing the event mode. Win unbeatable. Win 5 of your own solo challenges after sending them to at least 1 player. Once again, just send 5 challenges. Have your friend do them. Not fully finish, or don't have them not beat it. And then when the timer expires, you'll get that trophy. Rack up 1,000,000 drift points. Once again, just keep drifting. In a 12-player race, finish on the podium without losing any fame doing collisions with other competitors. This one's kind of hard to do. It did take me a few tries. All you have to do is just start a race with 12 players and then not run into any of them. And you don't also have to finish the race. So what you can do is you can start the race. Wait and let them get like a minute lead, and then just race after them. And then as soon as you finish, you'll get it. You also don't have to be as a good driver. Like if you run into walls, run off the course, those don't count. It's just if you run into another racer. Lift lifer, which pretty much just race 1,000 miles. Once again, you'll get This one's race as a club member, so if you're not in a club, you're not going to get this trophy, but one of the trophies is to be in a club, so. But drive at least 1,000 miles. That is, as a club member, once again, very easy to do. Reach level 50 is a max. Max out each gameplay, game mode, and vehicle event. So when you go to your status, because you're going to have to max them out for mastery for one of the allocated, you just have to max one in each category for, once again, gameplay, game mode, vehicle, and event. For vehicle, you, of course, just find your favorite one, or at least not your favorite one, that's for actual manufacturers, but I did Hyper. Once again, just pretty much play through the event until you unlock Hyper Racer or Hyper Cars, and then pretty much just do every event in Hyper, and you'll eventually get it. Drifting, time trials, racing. You have to do it for game mode. For game mode, I did race events. It's pretty much for every single one. You know, drifting, driver. I just did for a race event. Once again, if you're doing the tour, that will definitely help you with progress to anything. Just, you know, playing the game in any way will help you do that. For vehicles, for game mode, I did, you know, race event. For gameplay, I did drafting, which was one I did. I did the drafting overtake. I don't know which one I was going for, but as you can see, this is one of the ones where pretty much by the end of the game, you'll have a lot into level 4, level 5 max. Definitely go for either drafting or overtaking. If you're good at racing, you probably want to go for drafting, where you just follow someone. If you're good at racing games, you'll overtake, which you can't grind. There's only a certain amount you can get per race, so you can't like go all the way to first place, get all the, you know, overtakes, go all the way to last, and go all back to first. You can't do that. It's over the course of racing. So this is, once again, if you're going for overtake and you're actually pretty good at racing games, you'll get this eventually. The secret trophies for this is just be a member of a club that's level 10 or above. Even if you start your own club at the start of the game and you have someone join, by the time you get the platinum trophy, your group will be way higher than level 10. Me myself, I personally got it to, I want to say, level 20 before other people started helping me. But once again, you can do that, not necessarily solo, but you can easily do it by yourself. And then there's one where complete Tonits complete a point-to-point event with an average speed of 100 miles per hour, which, once again, if you're doing hypercars and you're relatively good, it's pretty easy to do. But that is Drive Club. Those are the trophies for Drive Club. Even with the events, because the events, or at least the DLCs, are all standard. It's pretty much win a race in that tour, because they have different levels. Let me just pull them up, just because it's pretty easy. So each one is broken down to, wait, this is not one that has it, because I want to say they have difficulties to each race and then each event, because there would be one like win a rookie trophy in an event, let me actually double check. Okay, they changed it up a little bit, that's why, because the first one's a little bit different than the rest, but pretty much one of them, they're pretty much all the same. You get a star in the event, unlock additional events in there, so you have to just unlock them, because you necessarily when you start it, not everything's unlocked. You have to get enough stars to necessarily unlock the next one, and getting the stars are just doing certain challenges. There's one for unlocking all of them, there's one for winning in each one, and then there's one for getting all the stars, and that's pretty much the same for all the DLCs. But that was a trophy. That was a trophy review. It's a bit grindy. It will definitely take you a while to do the platinum this game, but it's relatively easy. Not all that difficult at all. Especially if you do what I did, where I wake up, play like a few races, then go about my work and everything like that. Of course, you can grind it all out and as much as you can and as fast as you can. But I progressed it, prolonged it. Even today, I still play the game every so often, just go in there, do a few races. But very easy, a little bit grindy. The stats really do help you keep the stats in the game really do help keep you up to date on how long it takes to get to the end or get to your goal. But I do want to thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You can go ahead and comment below. You can sub if you're looking for more reviews and trophy reviews. If you want my Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff, those links will be in the description below. But I do want to thank you for your support, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day.